Everything's coming through clean? Dear. Okay, I think we are nearly there. Is that about that? It did do. Okay. But yeah. And someone have a look. Where we go? We got music. Ooh. Oh yeah, sorry about any feedback just then. She's still trying to bring that up. How is everyone? I'm just gonna throw out a message. Hello. Let's see. Oh no, that's good, okay. Now if I can bring up all of that chat box, display chatters on screen. Let's add that, shall we? Right. Chat box is where now? Right there, is it? Okay. Let's just pull this over here. Alright. Let's assume that's working. Well, I'll say. What are you doing? Okay, hello. Oh, it's Clyde. So I'm just moving the chat boxes around. I must admit, I sort of stopped doing all these widgets for a while. For almost no reason. How's Clyde today anyway? You okay? Ah. Right, there we go. That should be alright. That should be alright. So we just, I've noticed I've lost my, affiliate status on Twitch, so I've gotta basically rack up those hours again. Full of bolognese, nice one. Yeah, we had, Jenny had, let me say, we made a tortilla wrap with some grated cheese. And, I see Branston pickle. It was an unofficial one, but so Larry did one. So she had the very first cheese and pickle sandwich today, but in a tortilla rather than bread. And, she's a bit nervous about it, but she did it and she loves it. So, well, yes. Well, yes. Yeah. Oh, dear. I'm so tired today. I had the funniest start to the day. I actually turned up to a blood test. Today. And it turns out it was the wrong day. Whoops. It's okay. It was only like a 15-minute erroneous round trip. But, you know, these things happen. They do. These things happen. So, I'm trying to, guys, I'm trying to model, a new valve. And I'm just trying to get some concepts and try some techniques. Like, for example, this is quite an interesting technique with sort of slats. Yeah, sorry about the roughness of this build. It's, much as things do have to be kept, low poly. Trying to use things like you can see over on the right. I've got Boolean cats here, which if I remove that effector, you should be able to see. You can see it's actually just an arrayed set of simple objects, but when we apply the Boolean, it actually cuts it, and the cursor that we use, if I bring that into view, oops. The cutter is an object that's just shaped like this. I think I basically selected this, did a new face, extruded it somewhat to basically create a gap that was exactly like this. And then use that as a subtractive. So if we go back to the planks, you can see they basically where it intersects, where the two objects combine, we get this lovely sort of cut out version of this array of planks, which is nice. So, yeah. I noticed we've got a new couple followers since yesterday. We've got Posey. Jenny has finally followed. Wow. And then we got Teresa as well. That's wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Great. So, yeah, so like I said, I haven't got much time. Probably got about another 20 minutes or so to play around with some ideas, so I'm gonna just start somewhere over here. I should restart with a new project, but this sort of landscape's gotta go. This was an attempt at something yesterday, which was okay, but it's not quite what I'm after, so I'm gonna remove it so I don't get confused. And what I am gonna do is I'm gonna probably create a new, let me think how I'm gonna do this. Definitely a circle, I think, that I wanted, or a cylinder. I think maybe a cylinder. Now with that cylinder, let's just press the old / button, so it removes everything and zooms up on him. And I think that's probably the right number of sides on that to start with. So I think we'll go with this. Wonderful. Now what we'll do is we'll go up to the, was there down? So we're looking at it from above. We'll just grab this out and pull him over here. But then we're going to sort of expand him out. This is where I need to get sort of clever because I have in my mind some design that I want to follow. And I can't remember exactly how it looks. I seem to remember there was a... I almost think what I need to do is... Oh, hey, Drone, and hi, Steffi, how we doing? You okay, guys? Thank you for joining. So, if I take a cube here and just drag that across as well on the x-axis, we'll scale it up. So I think the first thing I want to do, guys, is I want to bevel just the top edges on this, which is probably silly at this point to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So if I press F, though actually I do want to do that on the sides too. Oh, and just for cleanliness, and remove the bottom, otherwise I can see that causing problems. Don't actually want that. So how are you guys all today? I wonder if a standard modifier could do this. We're gonna try that. If in doubt, just experiment it. Modifiers are non-destructive, so it's a good thing. So, oh, that's good, because it hasn't applied a bevel to the bottom edge. That's glorious. I can work with that. That's good. So if I see segments, snap them slightly, just to that. I don't want to make it too complicated. But I do also need to bring in that amount just to there. Because this is actually going to be quite a big part of the map. Hi, Eclipse, how you doing? Yeah, good, thank you. Wonderful. Daughter is back to school. Just doing some housework now. Wonderful. Haha. Housework, what's that? I'm just kidding. I was saying to Jenny, like, we can't possibly do any housework while we're off work, because that's just mad. I'm gonna create a new collection here and just call this, attempt to. I don't want to delete all the existing work in here, because there were some good lessons I learned in this. It's a nice kind of layout of a pool, but it does look quite janky, but I'm going to try doing this a different way. I hate housework, it sucks. Yeah, same. My garden needs mowing, I gotta be honest, and I just haven't looked around to it. It's thinning me. So with this cylinder, if I just move this over to here, no sort of scale and up to about here. I'll be honest, I'm not being very precise about this, but it doesn't matter. So for now, just Z that up. That's fine. And if I have to sort of bring this here a sec. Okay, and then if I do that and pull it up here to about here, I think that should be good. I hate work, I'd rather do housework. Interesting. Probably loves housework. Oh, there. Well, I mean, Clyde, if you ever need a roof over your head and food on the table, just say I'm I'm joking. I need to get my ass into gear and actually do some housework at some point, but I just keep finding excuses not to be honest. So, crazy. If I add the modifiers here, we're getting Boolean. We're getting Boolean, I think. Let's try it. We'll say difference, object, and cylinder. I'll move this over here as well. So if I now hide that cylinder, you can see that's made quite a nice little cut there. But I wonder what would happen, guys, given that I beveled the edges. If I move this boudin up here, I think it'll bevel the edges quite nicely of this as well. But the question is, do I want that? Let's try it and see what happens. Yeah, there you go. And if it's beveled the edges very nicely there. But I'm not sure I want it, to be honest. I'm not sure I want it. It's funny, isn't it? Well, we talk about non-destructive edits, so because these things are being done through modifiers, which you can, of course, apply at any point. As soon as you actually edit the object, look, it's you see the impression of what it should look like, but it's kind of funny if I grab a single point and I can move it and the bevels follow with it, and if I come back out of that mode. Great. So let's just put that back. That was not something I fully meant to do. So now I'm going to have a very quick look back at my reference drawing, because I need to make sure I get this right. Of course, I'm not going to get it right in a lunch break, but if I at least practice, it's like doodling on a sketch pad, right? You sort of practice the style that you want, and then eventually at some point, sort of G up to actually do the first sort of real draft a bit. Once you've got those techniques down, I guess. Oh man, I can't wait for you guys to see this. It's gonna be amazing if I manage to do it. First, I've got to worry about getting it done. So, think. And I'm not sure, you know. Kind of want a circle within another circle within another circle. I'm going to drop some boxy houses with all kinds of alcoves on it. Now, working with curves in Horizon Worlds is very difficult, as you guys probably know. It's, when you import it, they can make really hard, and you can try and you make it still if you don't get it right. Oof. And oh, I'm yawning so much today. It's crazy. It's picking. Good stuff. Okay, so let's try playing with cylinders. So if I bring that back into visibility, I might try just grabbing that and hoofing it off to the side. So if I just have that here, okay, and then I'm gonna duplicate that and pull up this. Well, actually, first up, the TMX. Oh, I tell you, I should have a coffee, Clyde. I tell you what, you know the guy who's like, I'm not a driller. I'm no driller, people have been saying I'm a driller. I actually found out who he is. His name is H something. Not a driller. H, let's have a look. And his name's Isaac HP. And I found a documentary on him. Yeah. Interesting guy. I'm not sure who made the documentary. I don't know if it was made by him, but I think he's making the most of his fame and then using it to sort of become a comedian. I don't know, I'm not sure. To be honest, it's kind of half awake when I was watching it, but I hope he's not actually a driller, otherwise he might come after me at some point. Yeah. Something to do with grime culture, which I don't think grime culture is anything to do with Sillet Bang, so I don't think he's in league with the great Barry Scott. But I think grime culture is some sort of type of music, maybe. Which is okay, I guess. I prefer Sillet Bang, grime and lime myself, but, you know, I guess. Yeah. There, I should put the kettle on. Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put the kettle on now. And Jenny will probably take another coffee as well. Just good. We'll get to see that at some point. Saying that now is... Oh, never the fact we were researching what t-shirt he was wearing for the day. Oh yeah, I remember that. And it was a Popeye t-shirt, wasn't it? It was Bluto or something. We used all kinds of like AI magic to track that down. Yeah, I remember that. That was a funny time, right? Yeah. Love it. Fill it, bang, rhyme and line. Well, tilt my head's just not in the game at all. So, I'm actually gonna apply the bevel thingy to this. What I do need to do, I need to punch a hole in this. And I'm not sure what the best way to do that is. I think it's to inset. So if I select the object's face, the top edge, and I say, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the bottom as well, because I think that makes sense. So remove the bottom face. Because the problem with vertices is when you're dealing with tri-mesh, even though these lovely circles look like one simple shape, you have to basically draw a line, almost like a parabola, from every single vertex back here to make this shape out of triangles. And that's what happens. That is what happens when you sort of triangulate objects. I don't know, can I show you this? If I say generate and triangulate, I wonder, will it show you this? Yeah, look, so you can kind of see what's going on there. You can see all different methods of triangulation by turning on the wireframe and then putting it to the triangulate modifier. So you kind of give it different solver logic to do that with this. So what's interesting is, yeah, you can see it's actually solved that issue using that many triangles. It's quite an elegant solution, actually. Yeah, circle solvers are not usually that bright, but by removing the bottom face, it means it doesn't have to worry about calculating that, which is amazing. Yeah. So, let's just meddle there a sec. Now, I'll leave the triangulate filter on because it sort of makes sense. But what I'll do is I'll put the bevel on as well. So if we go for bevel, now once again, just might come out of this mode. So we'll say I want segments, not too many, but you know, enough. Probably, yeah, 3 will do. And I think the amount seems a bit too high. I need to bring that down a little, just like to 0.0, maybe 2. That doesn't seem to have made a difference. It's a limit method, none. Oh, whoa, look at that. It's really screwed that up. That's crazy. Limit method angle. We're going to say angle. We're going to say 10 maybe? Oh no, look at that. That's crazy. That's the worst. I was thinking what to a nuke can instead, but okay, we'll leave that at 2, I guess. And geez, is it, oh, I see. There's beveling and all. Okay, let's knock off the bevel, and let's knock off the triangulate. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna use a look select, which we shift and alt. I mean, tick on this, you can see it selects all the edges. It looks like the face that I've selected, but it is the edge. And then I'll say F3 and bevel. We're going to bevel this manually, which might actually not be a great idea. I'll explain that why in just a sec. So if I just pull that inwards, it's happening. Ready? Oh, Jesus. Well, yeah, you can kind of see there it is beveling. But I kind of don't want to do that. That's known as a destructive bevel because we're actually changing the base mesh. Which is not really what I want to do here. Yeah, what I do want to do, wow, I do want to use the other bevel, but not at the expense of all that guff coming on. So if I say generate and bevel, let's see segments 2, and can I take the amount inwards? Yes, it can. Oh, that's actually a lot better. So I think because that came before the triangulation this time, it's not behaving weirdly. It is doing what I expected, which is lovely. So if I set segments up to maybe 3. And I set the amount down to 0. Let's say 0. Wait, is it 0.02, I think, because this object actually needs to be bigger. Let's try scaling it. Oh, look at that. Oh, I see. So the cube, we need to lose the boolean. That's not helping me right now. And then in here, because it's still a simple shape, because I've applied the bell to it after the fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. I'm going to select the face. And then I'm going to control I think it's inset faces. No, it's not. It's invert. So I think it's just I. Yeah. insets the face. So I'm just going to take a bit of a gamble here and say that's enough. And then if I extrude that downwards to about there, that's... You can see it's actually snapping to the base of that, and that's okay. To allow myself a sort of a semi-smooth, dewy work in there, which is nice. I'm also going to try doing a smooth, shade on the faces, because you know, that's taken on quite a nice appearance. I can't unfortunately apply that to the inside of the pool because that is a modifier, it's not the finished item. But the neatness for this is now, oh, just bobbing out for a walk and something. Thank you very much. Make sure you use all the booleans. Well, I usually avoid boolean logic because it can be a little bit, a little bit funny. Thank you, Clyde. And so I'll go out 5 minutes left of the stream or so, just do a list to serve. We'll work myself up a little bank. So if I just take this, I think is the bigger pool, so I'm gonna make that just bigger again, okay? And then I'm gonna sort of like duplicate the shiftly. And then I'm gonna so G and Z. Move that up to about here. And then I'm gonna scale it down just a bit. And then I'm gonna G and Z it again. Oop. And then I'm gonna go up here. And we're gonna G this across to here. I probably will have to come up with some way to solve that problem. If I just took an edge here, right, and then G and then down, and then I might just clip them down to, well, probably still I'm doing, but right there seemed about right. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna say, I'm going to select the inner edge on this, which is going to be a challenge, so if I say I'm here, and then I say face, oh, damn, that's not going to do it once, what is it? I mean, no. What I really would like to do, though, is just say, can see duplicate, is that thing, and then if I G that and pull it up, I have, so duplicate a face. And then once I've done that, I press P, which will split out the selection, which becomes its own shape. Exit edit mode, take that secondary shape, and we need to edit. Edit modes. We need to seek that shape, and we're going to extrude him like so. Okay. I'm actually going to as well. You'll notice that the modifiers are on both of these. I'm going to just take the modifier off that. And then if I G that and down that to about here, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna call it a cutter, so cutter, second pull. Okay, and then we're going to apply a new modifier here. Boolean. Oh damn, actually not to here, sorry. It's this part of the first boolean I need to remove, so if I go in here and add a boolean, and then we say, right, the object that we are removing is actually going to be the cursor, second pull, bush. So you've actually seen there, it has created this lovely thingy. And just do that and up that. Yeah, it's working out right now. Cool beans, guys. Okay, so I'm probably gonna close the stream down in just a sec, but thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope that was fun for you. Short, dabble. Definitely heading in the direction that, I think... Cool. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, I'm getting distracted as hell. Let's see that just a little bit more. I know I'm at Pooks, I do miss do that. Insert again. To about that much. And then we extrude downwards again. So we keep it out fellow for wanted. And create all sorts of interesting things. Nice. Here. Okay. I'm ready for sleep now. I'm so tired. But yeah, we can use a similar trick to that face air grease that we did before. To create like water to go in. I do want to experiment with a bit of animated water in here, I'm not gonna lie. That is a thing we do want to do. I don't know how well that will go though, but I'll see you. Right guys, I gotta end the stream now. Thank you so much for tuning in. And goodbye.